The 49ers just got a terrific revelation, 3 in fact, that I'm going to break down in this video. By the way, if you're looking for daily 49ers content, hit that subscribe button and make sure that you're getting it in your inbox, on your timeline, whatever you want to call it. But let's get straight into the news. You probably already heard about this, but Rick Stroud, the legendary Rick Stroud, he is a beat writer for the Tampa Bay Times, and he just said today that Liam Cohen is the front runner in Jacksonville. And that, of course, is music to my ears because I would love to see a reconnection between the 49ers and Robert Saleh. You know that. It's no surprise to you, but I think this is fantastic news. And he actually put out an article. He tweeted, of course, saying Bucs Liam Cohen emerging as strongest candidate for the Jaguars job. And then he wrote an article about it, which I thought had some interesting quotes about it. There was really some interesting stuff coming out as well about what the Jaguars think about Liam Cohen in his first interview and how he blew them away and all that good stuff. So, hey, that's all fantastic news for the 49ers because it could mean that we get our best available defensive coordinator left, in my opinion, in Robert Saleh. So I'm hyped up on that. I got a bunch of buddies over in Michigan who are all saying, he was born in Michigan. He's coming home. He's going to Detroit. I don't see that happening. That's not how I feel. I think he's going to go back to his real home, his new home, I shouldn't say new anymore, but the home in Santa Clara. He's going to be with the Niners. He's going to be where he's comfortable. It's going to be good. I'm excited for it. Let me know what you think in the comments about it. David Lombardi brought up an interesting point about it, saying Tampa Bay would have to hire its 4th offensive coordinator in 4 years, which I got to give Baker Mayfield credit because I thought after the last offensive coordinator left, he was going to really struggle this year, and he did pretty well. But highlights a major drawback of having a head coach who doesn't call the offensive plays. Fair perspective from David Lombardi there. Cohen's interview with Jacksonville is Wednesday. Graham and Saleh are scheduled to interview again Thursday and Friday, which I've heard some people making something out of it. I'm not going to make anything out of it. I don't know how they organize and schedule head coach, interviews, and whoever gets the first or second interview or whatever. I'm not going to act like that has a lot there. If it does, then great. I don't know anything about that. But a shout-out comment to Austin080. Saleh is a defensive-minded coach. Not a good combination for Trevor Lawrence. Saleh will be fired after 1 year if he goes to the Jaguars. He isn't the right fit for Trevor Lawrence the least little bit. And this is related to what we were talking about, so I'll get to the other 2 revelations in a second. But I wanted to comment on what you had to say there, Austin, because I think on one hand, like my mind goes to many defensive-minded coaches who have worked with great, historic, solid quarterbacks. Bill Belichick comes to mind. He's been in the news a lot lately, and he obviously, there's a little bit that comes down to who you have as your offensive coordinator. But overall, I like your point there, Austin. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth there. I'm just doing the best I can with what I've got here. I would say, Austin, that you're definitely not wrong in the idea of what Trevor Lawrence needs. Maybe this isn't what you're saying, but I'm going to tell you what I think. And I believe that Trevor Lawrence is in this whole offense. The Jaguars offense is in desperate need of a strong offensive mind with a very specific and intentional scheme that is clean and clear. And I think that's what their offense needs. And so I'm going to go with you on, Robert Saleh may not be the answer. Obviously, who knows who the offensive coordinator would be and all that kind of how all that would shake out if Saleh is the head coach versus Liam Cohen or versus whoever. So, it's an interesting one, though, and I appreciate the take. Thank you so much for commenting. You get that shout out today. Second revelation today. Out of 257 draftees in the 2024 draft class, plus all of the UDFAs, of course, that go unmentioned so often, the 49ers offensive guard, Dominic Purdy, has been named to the NFL All-Rookie Team, according to PFWA writers. That's awesome. Congratulations. Dominic Purdy getting all sorts of honors this offseason as he has deserved. He earned every single bit of them, and it just underscores again what we have said many times on this channel about how valuable that draft class has been to the 49ers and how we never would have imagined it would have needed to be as critical as it was, and it really was incredibly critical. And it made a big difference for the 49ers. Guys like Dom Purdy out there getting it done week in, week out, showing up in training camp, becoming the starter, earning his spot, and then never letting it go. So congratulations to Dominic Purdy for being a third-round draft pick that turned into a first-round draft value, in my opinion. That's how I feel about Dominic Purdy. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about that one, though. But congrats to him. The third revelation that you may have heard about, and you may have not heard about it, we have to get to it, is the projected picks, for the 2025 draft. And here's how it's shaking out, which I think is, obviously you'd always say like, oh, it'd be great if we could have more first-round draft picks. But this is a pretty solid setup. The 49ers are projected to have 10 draft picks this season, looking at the number 11 overall in the first round, the number 43 overall in the second round, but then 2/3 and 3/4. And you just think about guys like Dominic Purdy, for example. The 49ers absolutely destroyed in the third and fourth round in 2024. So I think that this is a good setup for the Niners to go in there and take care of business. I think there's also an opportunity when you have a lot of draft picks, you have a lot of compensatory picks, there's always a lot of opportunities for moving things around, because you can offer, you take this pick, plus I'll give you one of those too, and we swap places and things like that. Like, there's just a lot of opportunity that's there. But I think the 49ers, we know that the Niners are old, and they're getting older. And so as far as I'm concerned, I think one of the most valuable things about having this many picks is that we need an influx of young talent. We have a lot of free agents, mostly unrestricted free agents it's all going to happen very soon here. Things are going to start moving very quickly. And I feel like the 49ers having all these draft picks is just going to be extra little leverage that the Niners need in order to do their best. And so congratulations to the 49ers front office for, handling situations the way that they have, that you could be in this kind of setup, because as I've said to you many times on this channel, I just cannot believe how many of things have fallen into place in a good way for the 49ers. And that includes, by the way, if Saleh comes back. That's a lot of stuff that when Saleh first got fired, we were all like, bring him back. And honestly, I didn't think he was going to come back. I really thought he's going to be a head coach somewhere. But then as time went on, as I began to think about it, as I saw who he was interviewing for, and I started to wonder, maybe, I don't know. And then there are some other good head coaching candidates that, of course, made the opportunity for Saleh to not get a job even better. So I'm feeling optimistic, of course, about the draft. I'm feeling optimistic about the schedule, although we did learn today that there are now 2 games that the 49ers could end up going overseas. So that increases our chances of ending up having one of those types of games. One is the Cleveland Browns at the Tottenham Stadium in London, and the other one is in the Colts in Berlin, I think, if I remember correctly. So we'll have to wait and see how it all shakes out for the Niners, but I think we have a lot of positives. I mentioned the draft. I mentioned, of course, the schedule. We have the addition of having all this time to plan and prepare. And since the 49ers haven't been out there interviewing every single defensive coordinator under the sun, I'm guessing that they have a strong plan, and they have a lot of confidence that he's not going to go somewhere else, like to be a defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, for example, when that vacancy opens up as it's expected to. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Appreciate you all the time, and I hope that you guys have a fantastic Tuesday evening.